Welcome back to the podcast. I am so happy that you're here. And you know what? Before, when I used to start recording podcasts, I would just jump right into the topic. And I really want to invite us to just slow down and move away from that instant gratification that we are getting so much in this world through content, through receiving the Amazon package the next day. And let's come back to connection. And so, all my podcasts from now on, I'm just going to give you a little update on what's happening for me or just whatever's coming to mind. And then we're going to ease into the topic. So, I just got back from the gym. I showered, I ate, and I feel really good because if you haven't been following me on social media, but I had made a post in my story about how I was having some hormonal issues. I had to slow down at the gym. And not only that, I'm having some knee challenges, hamstring challenges. And it's because I slowed down, but I had to because of my energy levels. So I am 2 weeks in on getting back into a regular gym routine, and it feels so fucking good. Let me tell you, like, I feel so much more clear-headed. I feel so much more connected to my body. I just came back, it'll be a week tomorrow. I just came back from visiting my family in Canada, and it was really nice. It was a really nice summer just because I kind of got to take an actual break and relax. And it was maybe for a little bit too long, but I spent a lot of time I don't usually watch a lot of TV unless I'm like in a depressive mode. But I spent a lot of time watching movies with my parents and just I was inside a lot, and I'm not used to that because, for those of you who don't know, if you're listening for the first time, I live in Mexico, so I'm outside a lot, I'm in nature a lot, I'm walking everywhere here because I don't own a car here, and I love that part of it because I get my steps in. And yeah, but coming back to this routine has, it's only been a week, and my knee is starting to feel better. I also went to my amazing physiotherapist here. She's absolutely amazing, and my amazing massage therapist. I have a really great support team here to support my body. And yeah, so the reason I'm bringing this up too is if you're not moving your body, I cannot stress enough that it is a life changer. Okay, regardless if you have, hormonal issues like I did, or, there's something that is a physical barrier for you, there is some sort of movement that you can do. Even if it's small and slight, move your body. And the reason I tell you this is because not just you, but all of us, we have so much going on in our inner world. For example, if you're an overthinker, your mind can be filled to the brim with whatever you're consuming, however you're perceiving what you're consuming. And so just so many other things, right? And when we have a full mind, it needs to be self-expressed through something. So everybody's body needs movement in some sort of way. So even if you're walking, even if you're doing gentle stretching, that's perfect. Just move your body, because if you don't, it is going to fester, stiffen up. It's going to manifest as sicknesses, illnesses. And I don't want that for you. Trust me. I remember when I first started, my wellness journey, it was during COVID where I just changed my whole life around. I started working out. I was practicing yoga every single day. I changed my diet. I became vegan. I'm no longer vegan, but I became vegan and it really served me at that time. And I was doing so much self-development on myself because I was like, I mean, either like when you were in COVID, like either you were like just surviving or you're like, wow, like you were faced with all your shit and you were like, I'm going to head on move through this. And that's what I did. Like a lot of stuff came up for me during that time. And I changed my body. And it's been a journey because I've still gained weight since losing all the weight. My body's been going through so many changes. But one thing I am proud of is that I have been consistent and I have continued to move my body, even if it looked different in those seasons of my life, right? Because it'll be, like 5 years now. And I have changed so many habits that they just don't even resonate with me anymore. It's not a part of my identity anymore. For example, I also quit drinking during COVID and I have not touched alcohol ever since, and I don't plan to. And there's nothing, by the way, if you're listening to this and you do drink alcohol, there's nothing wrong with it. This is just my own personal choice. I don't think I'm high and mighty because I don't drink. It was my personal choice because it was messing with my body. It was just making the depression that I had before even worse. It was heightening my anxiety. And it makes sense because alcohol is a depressant, right? So what I would invite you to do though, like if you are someone who does drink alcohol, is to limit it because it's just so toxic for your body. It can turn into a disease as well too, where it could become very out of control, where I feel like that's a big reason why too I left alcohol behind, is because I felt like it was taking over my life. Even though I wasn't drinking every single day, it was more so on the weekends, but it would leave me feeling like just so bad about myself for the whole week. And then it was just this vicious cycle. I would drink on the weekend, do something fucking stupid or feel really bad or just end up crying. And it was heightening my anxiety. And then I'd have the hangover, and the week it would slowly get better, but it was still like that heaviness, and then I'd go back into it. And one day I was just like, I'm done. Like I don't even want to do this anymore. I do not want to do this anymore. So anyway, I share this with you because this is my truth, guys. And I used to feel bad to talk about this because I always felt like, and I don't feel bad anymore, but I still feel like some people think like, oh, like, Sammy doesn't drink, so she thinks she's like, above us. And it's honestly not that. It's just, I really value my health and I really value the way that I feel now. And that is a priority in my life. And that is what has got me, like, placing myself as a priority. That is what has got me from really unhealthy habits, unhealthy way of thinking, unhealthy ways of behaving to where I am now, where I'm so much more embodied in my morals and my integrity. I really show up for myself in the best ways that I can, even in the times where I feel like fucking shit, instead of resorting to habits that are making me feel worse about myself. And so it's not about anybody being better than another person. I don't think that I'm better than anybody else at all. But I do like to maintain a healthy lifestyle, and that's why I've changed so many things. Like I've made moving my body a priority. I have made nourishing and hydrating my body a priority. Even the people that I surround myself with, I've made that a huge priority, where I've had to let go of a lot of relationships. And it's not to say that I don't love those people. Of course, any person that I've had a relationship or friendship with, family member, regardless if they're in my circle or not anymore, there is still that deep love there, and that won't ever change. But what does change, when you start to put yourself first and when you start to take care of yourself, because we've been taught, especially as women, to put ourselves on the back burner. But when you start to take care of yourself, like, yeah, you're gonna have to change a lot of things, as cliche as that sounds. And so if you're in maybe the in-between phase where you're realizing like, whoa, I know that I need to make a change. It's so hard because of the people that I'm surrounded with. And you know what? I totally get that part because I had to let go of a lot of friendship circles. But the people who are meant to be on this journey with you as you evolve, because if you're listening to this, you're probably somebody who wants to grow their soul, wants to evolve as a human being, and wants better for themselves and their future, especially if you want kids. Like, you know, this is turning into a long introduction. Maybe this is just what the episode's going to be about. You know, I always tell myself, because of where I'm at, like, I am in a season of preparation for the conscious king that I'm calling in. Like, I know my person is out there, and preparation for being a mother. It has been my dream to have children because I have so much love to give in my heart, and I want to raise conscious human beings who are also going to make a global impact on this world just like I am. The world needs more of that. And of course, I want to have like little me's running around and just start a family, you know? Like, that just makes me so excited. You can see on my face, I know, like, I light up talking about it. And this season of, I'm so sorry if you can hear these dogs barking in the background. Can't control that. But this season of preparation that I'm in, like, I don't take it lightly. I really don't. And so it has forced me to really come back to my own energy, my own morals, and really be conscious of what I'm allowing into my life. Right? And so sometimes it's had to be a change in dynamics in relationships. Sometimes it's had to be like completely cutting people off. And it's like, for example, even the whole like becoming vegan thing. You know what? I love animals so much, and I don't like what they have to go through on the farms, and it's very sad. It is. And I was vegan for 6 years and vegetarian for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 2 years before that. And I went vegan for the animals, not because, you know, I didn't like meat or anything like that. And that's served me in that season of my life, right? But when your body starts to change and certain things are not feeling nourishing anymore, you know, it was a very hard decision for me to go back to eating meat after like 8 years of not touching meat. It was a really hard decision for me, but I had to do that for my health, right? And I know a lot of people who are vegan will argue the opposite of how it could be harmful. And you know what? Like, everybody's body is so different, and everybody needs certain things in certain seasons of their lives. And it took shedding that identity of being a vegan as well too. And this is still something that I'm shedding, to be honest, because it was so ingrained into me. And, you know, again, like, I still love and care for animals, but also too, if my body is needing something, you know, I can't just let myself not be energized, not feel good, right? And so when you are making these changes in your life, instead of being just like so restrictive about it, you can be conscious and very intentional. But just know that, like, a lot of things are temporary. Many things, almost everything is temporary, right? And so you don't have to place so much pressure, but you can approach your life changes in a way, in a way where you're like, hey, I'm doing what is best for me right now in this moment, and that could change. And if it doesn't, that's okay too. But I need to like honor my body, I need to honor my needs. And you cannot let anybody tell you anything about that. Okay. And I know that's really hard. It's really hard, especially when you're in social circles that are not supportive. It can be hard when your family's not supportive. It could be hard when you're made fun of for it, or, you know, when you're put into this box, or, you know, people stop inviting you to things first. You know I stopped getting invited to a lot of things because I don't drink anymore, and I'm okay with that. Right? At first I was like, oh my gosh, like, you know, this really sucks, and it made me sad. And like, now I was just like, I don't even care, because one, like, I already have a really full life. Like, I am busy building a business. I have conscious friends who I love to spend time with as well too. I have a really beautiful family, and honestly, like, I spend a lot of time alone filling my cup up and being like just full in life, right? And so not being invited to like an event or whatever, like that shit used to, I don't know, used to bother me. And when I made these lifestyle changes, like just my priorities shifted, and like you just become more self-focused in a really good way, like not necessarily self-centered or like in an unhealthy way, but you become self-focused in a way where you're like, okay, like, I understand the mission, I understand the assignment, and then you move with action. And whoever's on the way is going to come with you. Whoever's not, that's okay. Even, you know, I've had friendships for like, oh my gosh, like eons, and I've had to like let go of those things because certain things were just not in alignment anymore. Lifestyle, you know, like I said, I'm really discerning about who I spend my time with. And if somebody is like constantly complaining, or they're constantly just like in victim mode, well, I'm going to be supportive to them, but also too, like, because, you know, we all have those seasons. I've been in that season before. But I'm going to be really mindful of my energy. And I always say this, like, if I'm in the presence of someone and they're saying something and I can just like feel that being projected onto me, they're not doing that purposely, but we all project, right? If they're saying something that's like not resonating with the next identity that I am trying to level up to, or the identity that I'm even in, you know, in my mind, I'm just going to be like, I don't claim that, like, that is just not true for me, you know? So like, you can have empathy for people for where they're at, and you can also stay in your own lane and really protect your energy and be conscious around what you're allowing into your life, right? You know, a lot of times too, this is going to sound mean, but if this is like a big habit of somebody where, you know, we'll just use complaining as an example, you know, I just like stop engaging. I'm sorry you're feeling like that. Whereas before, you know, one of my patterns was like, I have to be there for this person, otherwise, like, I'm the only friend that they have, or I'm the only whatever that they have, and I need to be there for them because it sucks that they're going through that. And, you know, and yeah, like, we can be there for people, and we can have our boundaries around it too, because look, what I've noticed, people who are stuck in those loops of complaining, even when you are guiding them onto the right path, they're not going to be able to receive that until they're able to receive that. So I like to ask permission as well too, like before I even give advice or guidance. Or I just protect my energy and I'm just like, okay, like I'm sorry that you're feeling like that. Hey, you can listen to them for a little bit and then you get to decide how to navigate through that. Right? And so this is the reason I'm bringing this up too, because this is also a part of lifestyle changes, is how you're interacting with people. Right? So I've had to change in like immense ways that sometimes up until now, where I can feel that old identity trying to like pull me back and, you know, bring me into like feeling guilty or like, oh, you know, like they're going through so much. And yeah, like people, I like, hey, we are all going through a lot. Okay. And we have choices on how we can navigate it. Okay. We have choices. No matter who you are, we have choices. Okay. And so you get to be, you're still a good person, even if you're putting yourself first. You're still a good person, even if you're taking yourself out of situations with people that you love. Because if you want to build something so fucking beyond your fucking dreams, if you want to build a lifestyle that is different from everybody else, you have to do things differently. Because if everybody's doing the same damn thing, like, it's just, that's not going to get you the result that you want. Okay? You came here to do big shit with your life. Okay? Whether that's starting a family, or that's starting a business, or whether that's you just fucking bettering your life. Just that in itself gets to be enough. You know, there's this saying, I might get some hate for this, but there is this saying where, you know, everybody's doing the best that they can. And honestly, that is such a cop-out. I do not agree with that statement at all, because I think, yeah, some people really are doing the best that they can. And then I think some people are saying that they're doing the best that they can as an excuse, because they're not devoted to making the changes in their life that they know are good for them. And hey, there is a whole thing that comes into this with nervous system and muscle memory and mindset. Trust me, I have been through it. I have had to work through that, and it is something that I'm going to always have to work through. All of us are going to have to continue to work through that. But like, there's just so many people who think that they're doing their best, and they're not. And I mean this with so much love, right? And hey, sometimes I can fall into that myself too, where I'm like, I could be doing better. And yeah, I want you to be kind to yourself. I'm not saying that you have to criticize yourself at all. But I am saying that you have to hold yourself accountable. If you're not holding yourself accountable every single day, you won't get to where you want to be. And sometimes that accountability too does look like rest. Because especially if you are someone who is an overachiever and you're constantly like doing and going. Yeah, your accountability sometimes is going to be like, okay, I'm holding myself accountable to fucking rest so my mind can reset, so my body can reset. So and again, this is a skill that you have to learn as well too, if you're making any lifestyle change, is like knowing that accountability does look different every day for every single person and every individual. It's so different. But in truth, like, just being real, is a lot of us can be doing better than we are. And like I said, I say this with so much love. And I say this because too, is like, I have been there where I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm trying, and really, like, yeah, I was trying, but it, like, only sometimes. Many years ago, many years ago, I was like, I'm trying so hard to change this, and it was really hard. Like, that's the thing, is like this in between phase between your old identity, okay, and then you're in between, and then your new identity. Excuse me. That in between phase can last a long time sometimes. And that's okay. Because you know what? I'm so into spirituality and manifestation, all that stuff. And I also believe that certain things take fucking time. Especially if you are unlearning something that you've been conditioned your whole life. So, yeah, you gotta have patience with yourself, and you have to hold yourself accountable. And don't fucking give up. Do not give up. I am telling you, life can turn out so much better than you ever thought. And I say this from my own experience. I had no idea that I was going to be moving overseas. Like, Mexico was not even on my radar. I don't know if you guys know the story. I'm going to tell it again. You guys should probably hear the story a million times, but I love it. I fucking love this story. I love my story. I was supposed to go to Australia. I had my working visa. I had my ticket booked, everything. Okay. And then COVID hit. My flight got canceled. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, and there's a backstory to this too. Like, I was trying to leave the country, like, for so many years. Like, I was trying to go to Thailand. I was trying to go to Indonesia. I was trying to just go anywhere but where I was living. And I was like, there was a point where I was like, wow, okay, like, maybe I'm just not meant to fucking leave Canada. Like, why is this happening? And the reason it happened, which I would have never guessed this. So everyone closed their borders off. And I was like, okay, well, I felt like I had zero options, but I was actually learning Spanish online through this app called Verbling. And my tutor, he lived in Mexico. And I was just telling him how upset I was. I was like, you know what? Like, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck here now. And he's just like, why don't you come here? I was like, what do you mean? Like, how can I come there if, like, everything's closed? And he was like, no, like, Mexico is not closed off their borders. And so I was like, what? And let me tell you, so it's just funny because I had, like, taken many Spanish classes before, and I've been so into the culture since I was so small. Like, performing at family parties. I was performing Selena at family parties, dancing, singing, and I was just always immersed in the music itself. So when he told me this, I was like, you know what? I am going to make this fucking happen. The one country in the world that is not closed is a Spanish-speaking country, and that's been my dream, to, like, live overseas in a Spanish-speaking country. Like, what is holding me back? So you know what I did? I fucking, because well, at this point I was like, okay, you know what? I want to get a working visa. I'm going to work there. And I'm just going to, like, start a new life there. I'm just going to do it. So I went and I got my TESOL, which is, it's a certificate to teach English. And English as a second language. Got that. It was like an intensive course. By the way, I had to submit many assignments. It was a lot, but it was so worth it. And I just started looking online at schools. I was like, apply. And then this one school, they had contacted me and we met. So the way that it unfolded was absolutely amazing. I got my flight paid for, I had housing paid for, and I was earning a really good salary for here in Mexico. And, you know, a lot of people asked me, they were like, hey, like, how did you do it? Like, weren't you scared? And I was, but not, I was more excited, to be honest with you, because I was just ready to fucking leave. And I feel like because I was in that preparation season of putting myself first, of, you know, getting healthy, it built a strong mindset for me, and it built a strong heart set as well. Okay. I gained so much trust in myself because I decided to change the lifestyle habits. I was no longer putting myself on the back end. I was also no longer accepting the negative beliefs about me projected on me from other people around if I would make it or not, because that is not for anybody else to decide except for you. So I share all these stories, one, because I just want you to know, I know that there's so many people out there who are going through a lot of stuff like this, and I don't want you to ever feel like you're alone. And I want you to see, okay, that it's very real for you to experience the life that you're dreaming of, or better. But for you to get there, it's probably not going to be easy. It's going to take you having hard conversations. It's going to take you having strong boundaries. It's going to take you having lifestyle changes, circle changes, changes within yourself, learning to love and nurture the parts of yourself that even have been sabotaging, but to also get in the driver's seat of all those parts too. Your inner child, your adult self, you know, your teenage self, your rebellious self, like all the parts of yourself, like you need to be in the driver's seat and decide which one is going to be driving you forward to the identity that you want to reach, the people that you want to be around. That is a huge thing, by the way. You know, a lot of people say, you know, I don't have any friends. I can't meet, you know, anybody. And it's like, well, where, like, first of all, are you going out and like actively seeking? Not in a chasing way, but like, are you setting intentions to actively meet people and putting yourselves in those environments where you will, whether that's online or in person? Because that is exactly what I had to. A lot of my friends, a lot of my really good friends I've met from mentorship groups, my mentors themselves, like they're my friends, okay? But from online, from Instagram, because people have resonated with my content or vice versa, and we've connected. Or in memberships. One of my really good friends, you know, her and I, we just connected instantly, and we've become like besties through the this membership that we're in. And we met in person, and like just everything. This is what I mean, is like, you have to use there's so many resources out there, free resources or paid as well. A lot of the times you are going to meet really high caliber people in highly paid containers, because people are there to invest in themselves, and people are there to better themselves, and they're serious about it. And that's where you're going to meet the people. Okay. All right. My loves, I'm going to leave you with that. And I'm going to leave you with, you have all the inner wisdom. You have everything within you to co-create the life of your dreams. It is closer than you think it is. But you have to make the moves. You have to make the aligned moves with it. And you have to be able to navigate and shift. I know that you want this so badly. And I promise you that taking the steps forward, okay, are going to get you to that or better. If you're looking for like real support where it's a safe space, and also I'm going to hold you accountable. I am going to tell you the truth about things from a place of love. And if you're devoted to bringing yourself to that place and connecting deeper with your body's signals, your intuition, I want to invite you into my one-on-ones. Your life is going to shift drastically. And I tell you that because I have entered containers where my life has changed drastically. So, of course, you can do this on your own. But if you want to collapse timelines, and we all need support, especially from someone who's gone through it, who knows what it's like, it's okay to need guidance. Okay, I still talk to my mentor about stuff, and I allow her to guide me as well too. So, get into my one-on-ones, send me a DM on Instagram, or you can send me an email. And I love you. I believe in your dreams. I believe that you can change your lifestyle habits and create the life that you want. I'll see you in the next episode.